Meanwhile, concerns over residents firing guns during the 4th of July holiday is also on the minds of local law enforcement. CBS 4's Michelle Vargas spoke to the state representative who wrote and introduced the legislation trying to put an end to celebratory gunfire. Michelle?
Eddie, State Representative Armando Martinez is not giving up. House Bill 2583 would have made it a penalty to fire a gun up in the air without aiming at a target, but it did not pass the legislative session. Martinez, who was struck in the head by a stray bullet during last New Year's celebration, says his goal is to get the law passed to make the community safer.
Fireworks are the main attraction during the 4th of July. But following not too far behind is celebratory gunfire.
There's irresponsible people out there that are going to fire their guns in the air, and you don't want something to happen.
That's what led Martinez to file House Bill 2583 to put an end to celebratory gunfire, an action he says is anything but festive.
As a survivor of celebratory gunfire, I would like to urge you to be responsible and avoid shooting guns in the air. What goes up must come down.
It has to come down somewhere, and unfortunately, it can come down to a roof and injure somebody, seriously injure somebody. We always read a day or two after, for a couple of days after these holidays, where bullets have went through a house and just missed a baby's bed or maybe hit a baby.
That is exactly what happened to Martinez last New Year's Eve.
The question is, now that it happened to him, he's filing the legislation, like you said, but that's not the case. You know, nobody had ever approached our office about an incident like this, or that we need to file some sort of legislation. And usually that's how we get our ideas for legislation, by the public. And this is when we started looking into the law to saying what is out there, and we found that there isn't anything that really addresses celebratory gunfire and reckless discharge.
Martinez's bill didn't even make it to the House floor for discussion. But he confirms to CBS 4 News he is refiling the bill first thing next session in 2019.
We've had a lot of my colleagues, both Republican and Democrat, that have come out and said, hey, we're here to support you. Let us know what we need to do. They were very upset and disappointed, not only with my legislation, but many of other pieces of legislation that didn't make it on that last night of House bills. But like I say, we look forward to filing it and hoping it passes.
Willacy County Sheriff Larry Spence shares the same sentiment.
The sad thing is we shouldn't have to come up with bills to tell people not to do this kind of thing, not to be driving and texting, not to get behind the wheel if you've been drinking alcohol or under the influence of anything. People should have enough common sense not to do it, but unfortunately we do. So yes, I think the bill's a good thing, and hopefully it will go through.
Sheriff Spence says anyone who hears shots fired should report it immediately to their local law enforcement. Both Martinez and Spence urge people not to take part in celebratory gunfire. Live in the studio, Michelle Vargas, CBS 4 News and ValleyCentral.com.